Authorship, according to Professor Wagner, describes the theory of agency, of somebody doing something intentionally. This theory, at its core, has an argumentative objective, to affirm, to illuminate this link between a body of work and the personal subjectivity and distinct stylistic approach of a director/writer. The Canadian filmmaker, Denis Villeneuve, has proven to be one of the most prominent and outstanding film directors of the modern age, and has centered his spot in the list of prominent film auteurs. With his 1998 debut, August 32nd on Earth, and with every film following, Villeneuve has strived to create films that stay with you days after you have watched it. He achieves this by creating films known to be visually striking, narratively ambiguous, and creates characters that are put into unwanted, often violent situations that must tread the line of what is morally right and wrong. By thinking ahead for all the possible ways that editing, cinematography, performance, and direction can be manipulated and intertwined.
The more you plan, the more you can improvise. But in order to improvise, you have to be, the ideas are to be very clear in advance. And so that's why with the cinematographer, production designer, everybody and all the actors, all the intellectual discussion are in prep. After that, on the set, we go to war.
Denis creates a world where ambiguity and a state of uncomfort is at its forefront. With his films, questions are presented, and it is up to the characters and the audience to find those answers. There is always more to be uncovered. Often facets of a character's life, past, present, future, or their connections to others is what drives their motives for obtaining those answers. Villeneuve's 2013 mystery thriller, Prisoners, uses film form, specifically narrative, cinematography, and acting, to effectively create a story that focuses on the phenomena of change of human beings, the lengths one will go to when in the face of evil, no matter their intent, and how one's own beliefs and attitudes of life affect, aid, and even hinder in their plans to get out of that situation. Prisoners follows two men, family man and devout Christian Keller Dover, and ace detective Loki, as they each, in their own respective ways, set out to investigate the disappearance of two little girls, one of which is Keller's daughter, Anna. Denis is an excellent storyteller, and with the help of his frequent collaborator, cinematographer Roger Deakins, who has worked on Prisoners, Sicario, and Blade Runner 2049, he has mastered the art of presenting people trying to either crawl out, run away, or dig themselves deeper into dark and uncomfortable places. Prisoners encapsulates it all, from Keller's descent into violence as he becomes more and more desperate to find his daughter.
We heard him. Until he talks, are they gonna die? That's the choice. That's a choice you have to make. I've made my choice. I know what I heard.
His fear and anger is what allows him to veer away from his Christian beliefs, or in his mind, is a guide and crutch.
Relying on your almighty power and your infinite mercies and promises. I hope to obtain pardon for my sins.
Keller steeps into the darkness that he has buried deep inside him from his childhood. Loki, on the other hand, is presumably non-religious. We can infer that his relationship to Christianity has been strained and is a reminder of his pain and anger.
You know what, I spent 6 years in the Huntington Boys Home, Father. Hey, you know the Huntington Boys Home, right? Huh? Hurting a fuck like you'd be a real treat for me. Why don't you tell me his fucking name?
When a horrible situation has emerged, and Loki is in charge of resolving it, he, unlike Keller, doesn't steep down to violent lengths.
Right now! Right now!
Not unless he absolutely has to. Instead, Loki uses his troubled past to be a leader and a protector. Both characters play a role of being a protector, but they both go different routes to be able to fulfill that role. Aesthetically, Denis encapsulates those roles and emotions by subtly using imagery of nature, specifically trees, to represent the humanity of the characters and the family they are trying to foster and see grow.
Not as man, but as sinful man.
The film's color palette is dark, cold, and gloomy, which reflects the dark world in which the characters are in. We often see extreme acts of violence being enacted, and there's many scenes where emotions and despair take over, a common trope in many Denis Villeneuve films.
Tell me! Tell me! Tell me! Where's my daughter?
Keller and Loki have been unwillingly thrown into this horrible situation, and it is their responsibility to get themselves and those they care about out before it's too late. In order to overcome this, they must tread the line between what is morally right and wrong.
He did what he had to do to find Anna, and I thank God for that.
How they choose to respond to the horrific situation affects how far they go and determines who they are psychologically, as well as where they end up physically in the end. In the end, Keller is in his own pit of darkness, while Loki, although hurt, stands above ground, reflecting and waiting for his next move to make. This is why I think Prisoners should be the final movie we screen in class. Thanks for watching.